Yesterday we were talking about how to participate in the Gold Cursed Goliath event, and we dove into the 2x rewards that you can get inside of the game right now. But I want to get into even more detail on those 2x rewards because with the only 90 minutes that you have to collect double rewards, you want to min-max that experience so you can get as much as possible. In addition to that, Goliath, we were figuring out yesterday how we can get these portals. We were going over here to the March of Goblins, which I need to do a little bit more of today to unlock these 2 more portals. But I did not realize, or at that point understand, how to get them. Well, it was pretty darn simple, guys. All you gotta do is go into your satchel, and right here is the portal. You click on it, and you use that portal, and it's gonna take you to a screen just like this, where you could participate in the event, which I did for the first time last night while I was doing some farming. I'm like, you know what? Found my portals, let's dive into it. So what did it actually look like? It was exactly what I would have expected it to be. It was an event that was a boss fight that you go in with a bunch of your friends and you take them down. Not the hardest boss fight, more like a Heliquary boss than anything else, but more of a solo experience where you're really just fighting the boss and not things that spawn around it. As you can see, really cool looking battle. This is what we've come to expect from these event type things. Blizzard has to have a balance between too difficult so it's not able to be completed and hard enough so that it's not done in 5 seconds. I really like Goliath here because he's got that big treasure chest filled with gold and he's slamming it around to take you down. It was just a fun boss fight. And as I said, I was out there doing some open world farming. I found that I had the portal. I'm like, you know what, let's run this. And lucky for me, the group decided that they wanted to join along and we quickly jumped in and did a quick battle here. We've already gotten him down to his final bar of health. He's still slamming that treasure chest around, and we're having no problem taking him down though. And we're about to get him completely down to 0. But what are the rewards that you get from it? Well, you're going to see that in just a minute. The chest opens up and out comes a legendary piece of gear. I did not have the 2x event going on at this point in time. That's very much worth noting. So with that being said, was it worth it? Was the reward that I got worth the time and the investment? Well, yes, because it was free, but at the same time, I did not get anything good out of it. So that's fine as well. You can't expect to get a good legendary every single time, but we could dive back in and do the event again. We have another portal in our bag. We can easily get 2 more. Remember, we have the Goliath event, March of Goblins, and Goblins Plunder. So a lot of things that we can participate in to get those extra events, but there's even more going on there today. When we take a look at the events tab, of course, Goblins Plunder. I'm going to be activating this buff today before I do probably a good hour-long session of farming. I want to get as much stuff as I can get. But that brings up the question, how can you min-max the experience so you get the most amount of stuff? Before we go on any further, I want to show you a little bit more. We have the Deluged Plane, which is able to get some more rewards here as well. This one is over in about 6 days. And as you can see, you can get yourself some pieces of gear and some good experience. So if you want to do another run through over there, you totally could. What I'm going to be focusing on though is the March of the Goblins, because I want to make sure that I get these portals, do as many of those battles as I can, because you get rewarded. Defeat him 5 times in a week, defeat him in under 2 minutes 5 times in a week, 3 legendary pieces of gear, 60 battle point progression. It's good value. Plus we want to get the familiar contract. And of course we want to get that portal because it's pretty sweet. And I decided myself to do all of that on my Tempest class. But let's take a look at Reddit, where I said we had a good breakdown of how to min-max the experience and get the most out of the experience. This is from Sid Gang coming over on the Reddit post, which I'll be linking down below. Some facts that I found about the 2x legendary drop event from different game modes. So what are the best ones to get the most rewards from? Number 1, it works in Terror Rifts. So whenever you get Eternal Gear, you get 2x. That's a huge one right there. Being able to use the to get into Terror Rifts. The problem with that is it's a longer experience. It's less happening, less rewards over the same amount of time that you would get from even a really good open world farming spot that you did with a party. With that said, you do get Eternal Gear, and that's could be very well worth your time. Number 2, for raids, it works when the boss drops the legendary. Whenever I got a legendary today from the raid chest, those were not doubled. So interesting. They're not doubled from those raids, but it only happens when the boss drops the legendary, not when they open up from the chest. Similarly on Keon's Ordeal, double the chest, but the number lottery still gives 1 time, so you're not getting double from there. And by the way, if you have done these experiences and experienced something different during the double times event, you could let me know down in the comments below. Very possible that different people had different experiences, although with the double times event, it really should be kind of standard. Normal defense. For some reason, I just got 1 legendary here. Shouldn't we be getting 2 times? Again, he's asking for us to share our experience, and Yakin drops only 1. So really, he's sharing here to start things off where this is falling a little bit short, where we're not getting those 2 times. So those are events that we have right here that you probably would not want to dive into right off the bat because it's not regularly giving you those double, except for Terra Rifts, which are giving you double the amount of Eternal Gear. Other tips: 2-time reward bonus will 2 times the speed of your lair farming. So if you manage to activate it this week and make it last for next week as well, you can farm the 2 times lair speed for both weeks. Interesting tip. Similar to Terra Rifts, if you do all on Friday and then save those 2x hours for next week, you can get 2 times Eternal Gears next week as well. Note, no 2 times on Terror Essence. You can't get the double Terror Essence to then boost up those bounty board events, but you can get 2 times on the gear. Some assumptions, which could be wrong, let's discuss them. Shadow contracts may drop 2 times legendaries. Interesting. I actually have not done shadow contracts in a minute. Be a good idea for me to try that out when I do activate this later today. And Lego from the Vault defense may not be 2 times. However, from Moral Dailies, it may get 2 times. Again, he's saying to feel free, chime in, and give us your experience as well. Now, as I said, for me, I'm going to be going into the events, and I want to activate Goblin's Plunder today, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it at an optimal time. I want to do it at a time where I'm utilizing the most out of the experience so that it's not something that you have going on for the next 2 weeks or anything like that. Plus, during that time, I want to make sure that I can go and get those extra legendary gems from the Mirrored Jewels event. So it's a time that I either want to be live streaming so I could do that with you guys because it's always a lot of fun, or a time that I want to be recording because it is not often that we get 2 times legendary events, and there's possibility for a big drop. And for me, I've really been working on my legendary gems, or actually I've actually kind of stalled a little bit on them, but I want to get this Viper's Bite up to rank 10 so I could get that slot working again. Again, this is an awakened slot that is not awakened. And I'd love to get all of my legendary gems that are 5 stars up to rank 5. Maw of the Deep, I mean, we're sitting on the gems to do it. I have my Maw of the Deep right there. Blood-Soaked Jade, we have 2 Blood-Soaked Jades in our pack, so that'll help us get some progress there as well. Nothing crazy, but some progress. We want to get our Gloom up to at least a rank 4. We have the Gloom to do it. We just don't have the gem power to do it. And our Mother's Lament, that's going to be the one that we want to go with after we go and complete our Viper's Bite. We are also rocking the Pain Clasp rank 10 and the Fervent Fang. I'm not loving the Fervent Fang, but I have it to rank 10 and I don't have other things to rank 10. Part of me would rather just take my Blessing of the Worthy, my Bottled Hope, or my Awakening my Seeping Bile, throwing them back in there. I want to try and pop in and try and get more bigger wings. I want to try and get up to 3K wings just so I can have the big ones. We're still sitting with 2K, and it shouldn't be that hard to do. Honestly, after this Mirrored Jewels event, I think we're going to have plenty of what we need to see progress there. So what am I going to do? We're going to double it up. We're going to run the events that we feel are going to be the most effective for gaining double the amounts of rewards throughout this time. Again, I'll be doing the Mirrored Jewels event to try and get that out of the way, and I don't want to miss it. And then I'll probably spend a lot of time either in Terra Rifts or open world farming. May even do some layers and see what kind of things we get out of there, because remember, the 2 times event will also drop regular, normal gems in layers and when you're in parties of 4. So go check that out. Let me know where you're finding the best rewards. Share it with the community below so we can all benefit.